Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome back to Warship Gunner 2. In the last episode, we did mission 130, and we did it twice. And we are ready, finally. Well, I say finally, but it's really early. We're ready to build a battleship. Before we do that, I think I was actually challenged to defeat a boss using just a destroyer, which I am happy to try. I think it'll actually go fine, frankly. I think we'll be okay. But yeah, we'll build the battleship after we defeat this boss, and then we'll build our battleship. Ooh, hello. We can get bigger machine guns now. Hooray. So yeah, we will happily do that. Let's see those structures, engines. Can I get more turbines? I could get better turbines. That'll be good, not just for the battleship, but for, like, everything. Same goes for the smokestacks. So let's get some better smokestacks, too. We already have the better guns going. Systems, we can't afford that anymore. And I'm assuming... okay, that's in progress. Delay, firing delay, we're already going on. That's already going. The rest of this, I really don't feel like I need that badly, honestly. Yeah. Let's take, we can take the first level of all of these, like this. Aircraft, engine, structures, hulls. Obviously we're not going to be able to get anywhere in here, but let's see here. Oh, also, a couple points about the last video. The last video, the first time I uploaded it, there was no audio for the first about 30 seconds, which was weird, so I re-uploaded the video and said re-upload in the title. That is the fixed version. I'm debating whether to take down the old one. I want to, just to reduce confusion, but also there's comments on the older one that I want to leave, so I don't know. Maybe we'll just leave it up, but in regards to those comments, we'll just go ahead and get started here for the sake of time. Actually, wait. Before we do that, let's take a look at designing. In regards to one of those comments, I believe it was Nova Topaz, mentioned the possibility of, like, not only unlocking all the things, but using all the things. And I understand the sentiment, but the only issue is that for most of this stuff, we're not going to be... How should I put this? In terms of getting through the game, and getting through the game without pulling our hair out, we're going to be wanting to put our money towards things that are useful first, and therefore we're not going to have all of the bridges and all of the hulls as we go through the game. Those kinds of, like, the hulls that I'm not going to use, like how we're skipping destroyers hulls, 3 through whatever, and we might build a cruiser, but we're not going to use it much because we're already going to have a battleship, that kind of thing. It would cost a lot of funds and take a lot of time to get those funds to get all those things and get all of those things and try them out as we go through the game. I'm happy to show what the 3D model looks like in the game. Like, for example, if I were in R&D right now and I wanted to show off what the bridge looks like, I would go into R&D and I'd say, okay, here we go. So this is what, this bridge looks like. And I'm happy to do that, but in terms of actually using all the different things in missions, that would take a really, really, really long time, and we wouldn't even have most of that stuff until the end of the game. And this is already going to be by far the longest series on the channel. So I'm not opposed to it, but, I got to know that more than one person wants to see that. No offense to you, of course, Nova Topaz, but it would be a very significant time sink, and this is already going to be a crazy long series. So we can do it if you guys want to see it, but, let me know what you think down in the comments. I'd like to get as many people's opinions in on that as possible. So, anyways, we're going to try to sink this super battleship with our tiny little destroyer. Should be fine, honestly, all things considered. This is a pretty nasty little destroyer that we've built here, even though it does only have 8 guns, but, I mean, compared to other destroyers that most people would probably have at this point in the game, if they weren't, hyper-focused on being really excessive like I am, yeah, I think we're in a good shape. I also replaced the depth charge rack with a depth charge launcher, because why not? So now we have this, which will be really good because it increases our range drastically, and we can fire depth charges in every direction. That doesn't help us here, of course, but we have it now, so that's good. Anyways, you might notice there's one blue dot hanging out in the middle here on the mini-map, and we'll see that in a second, but giant battleship spotted in front. The enemy ship's engines appear to be damaged. How about we lure them near a U.S. Army base? Maybe we could get some support fire from their gun batteries. Yeah, I mean, maybe. Our ship will now engage the enemy giant ship. So he kind of goes in a big loop, and he does cross by the American bases from time to time, and they do shoot at him, but I wouldn't rely on it. I would not rely on them to do most of the hard work for you. So if you look out ahead of us here, there's a battleship right there, and it's being attacked by Whirlwind right now. It's an Iowa-class battleship. It's friendly, as you can see, but what you can't tell at the moment is that it is actually disabled. It can't move. So it's a sitting duck, and Whirlwind is going to keep doing these loops where it goes like right next alongside of this thing, and eventually it's going to sink it. So one of the side objectives that will pop up once we get a little closer is to park next to the Iowa and rescue the crew. So we are going to try to get over there and do that. This is actually harder to do on higher difficulties because Whirlwind will do so much damage to the Iowa so quickly that he'll sink it before you get a chance to actually get to the Iowa and help it. So this can actually be harder to do on higher difficulties just for that reason. Yeah, she looks like she's in a panic. We'll go help them out.
Secondary objective added.
There we go. Rescue survivors from the Allied vessels, even though there's only one vessel, but we're going to get over here and do it anyways. This will also kind of put us on course with where Whirlwind is going to end up eventually. Just barely see it out there. Just barely, like, see its engines. Oh, it's gone now. Just out of render distance. What is that? There's a crate? There's a crate there? No. What am I... Oh, it's the black part of their health bar. I see. Aha. It just happens to be a near perfect square right now. Alright. Pulling up alongside the Iowa to help it out. This seems like... Well, maybe the scale is okay. It just... I feel like my ship is a little longer than it should be. Or the Iowa's a little shorter than it should be. Yeah, I don't know. The Iowa's proportions on its own ship look okay, but I guess my ship is just bigger than it should be. Oh well, it's fine. It's not a big deal. I'll tell you what, man, if they made Warship Gunner 3, like, this is the kind of thing, this is the kind of game that, like, this is legit. If I wanted to get into game development, this would be the exact game I would want to make a sequel of. Like, as one of my first projects as a game developer would be to make either a sequel to this or a remastered version of it, or like a Warship Gunner 2.5, where the artwork and the models and the proportions are all way better. And that's not a knock against this game. I mean, for when it came out, this is not a bad-looking game for when it came out. But because it's so old now, it is in need of updating, which I would be happy to do if I knew how to do it. But yeah, so there's a small part of me that really hopes that we can keep this game alive enough that somebody's gonna notice. And somebody's going to notice and say, ooh, a cult classic game that is ripe for being made again. Like what happened to Beyond Good and Evil. You know, Beyond Good and Evil was a one-off game that... Oh, sweet, we already damaged the bridge. Beyond Good and Evil was a one-off game from Ubisoft a long time ago, but it was a cult classic game. And, you know, no one ever imagined it was going to get a sequel. Like, there was a teaser, you know, a long time ago, but nothing ever happened, and they didn't really stick to it, and they kind of abandoned it. But lo and behold, we're getting Beyond Good and Evil 2, and it looks bigger and crazier than just about any other game that is being proposed right now, other than Star Citizen, but that's all lies and broken promises. But yeah, I mean, if Beyond Good and Evil can get a reboot after, what, 17 years? Maybe it's not so far-fetched that Warship Gunner could get a reboot after almost 2 decades, you know? It's possible. And that's part of why I want to keep this game alive on the channel. I want this game to get a lot of views, whether it's me or anybody else that is making videos about it. I want this game to be known. I want some developer to find this and say, I'm gonna make that next game, you know, because it'd just be so cool. And this is one of those things where it's legitimately one of those things where I'm like, man, I should have been a game developer so I could do that, but a little late in my career path now. But yeah, I don't know. That's kind of my deep down hope, is that somebody will see this, or see how much attention this game has, or how much of a dedicated following this game has, and latch onto it and take it on as their own, and try to really make it something awesome, or make a sequel that is awesome. But the biggest things I would do is just make like the proportions a little bit better, and make the art better. But honestly, I'm fine with the way R&D works. I'm fine with the way the designer works for the most part. I think you could maybe have more options about, like, have an option for symmetry. So like the same way that Kerbal Space Program has, where you can disable or enable symmetry, and then different kinds of symmetry, you know, that sort of thing. Or have more snap points available so that the places you can put things are not so rigid. Have more options available, so like for secondary cannons, maybe you can put them in barbettes near the center of the ship. Like, you know, how you can press circle in this game and raise or lower, or front face or rear face the turrets. Have another option in there that lets you put them in barbettes instead. That, you know, just stuff like that. That'd be super cool. Some quality of life things like that, and just, you know, more options. More options, the better. Especially in a game about, you know, building your own ships. Having options like that would just be so cool. That's what I would love to see in a theoretical Warship Gunner 3. But maybe that's just me. I don't know. I definitely would love to see the best thing I'd be excited for is the updated graphics and art, like models and stuff. You know, on top of the new technology that has come out since this game was made. You could also be putting in a lot of the newer stuff that we now know exists and is being used. So, just cool stuff like that. Anyways, boss is dead. I haven't really talked much about the actual mission here at all, but we sunk it. It took a little bit of time to do with our little 6-inch guns, but definitely got it. I knew we would, and I figured it would take about that long. They are just tiny guns after all. But we get our gunners get a little extra practice against the enemy battleships here. The regular enemy battleships. So, funds crate, and I don't really need anything else. I probably need ammo, actually. I bet. Don't we start off with like 4,000 or something? Yeah. Alright. So we blew through a lot of ammo, but who's really surprised by that, frankly? Okay, health there. We need to go and find that other group of ships, so while we boost off in that direction, I am going to pull up the FAQ to figure out where the treasure is. Let me go to my, here we go, treasure locations. This is 140, I believe. It is EL2. Okay, I thought it was. Yeah, this one is EL2, so we can't get it yet. Another quick note, it's not just the Whirlwind that will actually try to kill this battleship, it is the other ships as well. I believe right now they're firing at the base, but yeah, if they end up over here, which I think they do along their patrol path eventually, they will also try to kill this battleship, which is, again, why on the higher difficulties, this side objective that seems really menial can actually become difficult. So, yeah. But that's why I like to make a beeline straight for it, just to know that we got it, and that they're gonna be alright. But the ship is still sitting there. Realistically, they might have scuttled it, but, you know, maybe they were just so confident in our little tin can's abilities that They knew they'd be able to... If they left it afloat, then the enemies would never have a chance to take it because we'd kill them that quickly. And then they could go back to their ship and get it working again, and then they don't have to build a new one. Maybe? I don't know. Finally caught up to this other fleet, though. Or, not fleet, but group. Task force, maybe. Yeah, task force would probably be the correct term. Battleship group and or task force, I think, would be the most correct terms there.
Enemy ship sunk.
Boy, when you talk for 15 minutes straight and don't stop to take a breath, your throat does not get happy with you, let me tell you. Okay, how are we looking here? Any crates of interest? Not really. I'll grab a few survivors and then head on out. The dinghies, of course, sink after a little bit, much like the crates do, which we may see... No, we got them. All right. There is one more transport up there, but I know it's not going to have the treasure because the treasure's on EL2, so we'll just leave because, meh, not worried about it. Overhead, specifically with moderately severely damaged in a prize attack. Even though the giant ship was just single vesseling, it should help slow down the Empire's advance. Empire's fleet should have taken heavy damage too. We may be entering a standoff for a while. Good, I guess. Maybe. Maybe that's a good thing. Alright, so destroyed 96%. Meh. That would still get us an S rank if we were on normal difficulty. Mine detector system. Meh. Secret blueprint porter class. That's kind of cool. Mine detector system. Radar 2. Escort service medal. Sweet. I don't know why we got that from that mission. We didn't really escort anything, but whatever. Go ahead and save over this one here. And there we go. I think the porter class is a destroyer class. We'll try to take a look at that when we get through this briefing here. Ooh, ripples on the moonlight. I remember this mission. Yes. Yes, I remember this mission indeed. Gentlemen, the Empire has now launched an offensive in Europe. The European nations that have aligned with the very much. Look like in that case, it's being required to locate. Kings are already rebranded like you're joining there quickly. My country has been monitor conserving your command. Things are feeling extremely sure with you around. Now, trip to Britain was a problem. Like she's Panama now, but it's been taken over by the South Americans later the Empire. You received support from the U.S. ground forces. The problem is the enemy naval fleet, but traveling around would take weeks. Anyone have any ideas? Why don't we launch a night attack on their fleet while in port? It's a pretty makeshift plan, but we don't have much to work with. Night attack on the warships might be just a thing. Yeah, cool. So, submarine time, as they'll explain in a moment here. Raid the enemy port at night. Lieutenant Nagy was inside the appears Urbina Bay, or Urbina Bay, something like that, in the Galapagos Islands. Repairs on it are already complete. Our submarine crews have also been assigned to the FF, so we're officially able to help you out. Thank you. Don't worry, your qualifications good captain needs don't change much between a ship and a submarine. Just work as you always do. Let's run drills until we arrive there. Then we'll station an attack. Alright, prepare to board the submarine. Another thing, too, that I think is kind of funny. I didn't actually realize what the Galapagos Islands looked like until this game came along and I played it. And then I looked it up later. And realized, oh snap, that's actually what the Galapagos Islands look like. The scale is wrong, mostly. Actually, yeah, the scale's pretty wrong. They are much bigger than that in real life, but the shape is correct, and I didn't realize that. But okay, so we have some money now. We obviously are ready to design our battleship, but before we do that, because we're getting close to, being out of time, and I want to make sure we have time to design the battleship, we are going to go to auto design, blueprints, and we're going to see about this porter class here. So let's see, what do we need? We would need, I don't know, it's not telling me what we would need to build it though. We would need, I don't know, I thought it would tell me what kind of hull we would need for that. Destroyer, yeah, no. Blueprints. It should be telling me what type of hull we need. But I'm not seeing it. So, oh well. Well, I thought we might be able to do that, but I guess not. But we will build the battleship in the next episode of Warship Gunner 2, because we're just about out of time in this one. So, thank you very much for watching. I hope you have enjoyed, and as always, I'll see you all in the next video.